Picture this, Arsenal fans. Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. 9 points out of 9 in as many games, people, available to us. Beating Crystal Palace, beating Nottingham Forest, and beating Liverpool. The only better thing than that would have been 3 out of 3 in terms of clean sheets. But that's for another story. I won't go as far as to say we've turned things around, but between Saka, Trossard, Martinelli, they've scored the goals in what was a wonderful team performance that saw us beat Jurgen Klopp's team and a generational manager in his farewell tour at the Emirates. We kind of crashed the party. I'm here for it, people. Again, perfect picture. A lot is said about our celebrations. Who knew you could celebrate? And I think on the face of it, yeah, you could say Liverpool weren't at their best. That's irrelevant. I think when you look at the various different metrics and statistics and all of those things available to us, football is about who is the better set of men on the day. And we deserved 3 points. You know, when you look at it, Liverpool, who don't lose too many games, have only lost twice. Very good side in terms of scoring goals, creating chances, putting the opposition under extreme amounts of pressure. I don't think they did that at the Emirates. Yeah, there was times where Liverpool at times grew into the game, but that was probably the least off it Liverpool were in comparison to us than I've seen in a while. And, you know, it's been coming. It's really been coming. I like the aggressive approach we had. I like the way we won possession. There's so much to like. I liked our team shape. We kind of went man for man at times and then kind of dropped into a 4-4-2. I think Kai Havertz's use of deployment on the pitch, better yet, was fantastic. As you can see, we went man for a man. We pressed high. We were trying to be aggressive when we could. You know, Kai Havertz would drop into midfield. Odegaard would kind of, you know, be a second striker / drop into midfield. And we know to beat Liverpool, their fullbacks and stuff are one thing, but you have to be brave. You know they could counter-attack and harm you. And I think at times we did. Of course, our shape kind of changed. I like the fact of Havertz and Odegaard, as I was saying, along with Saka and Martinelli when we dropped into a 4-4-2. I think the use of Zinchenko and Gabriel on the left-hand side to deal with the right-sided central midfield and whoever was on the right-hand side in an interchange in Liverpool side was good. I think Jorginho and Declan Rice were brilliant. And I think we gambled when we could, man. I think we went man to a man. I think we went high trying to nick the ball back in their half whenever we could. I did think, you know, it was quite smart between Zinchenko and Jorginho and Kai Havertz. One of them would offer an extra body in midfield and at times be like a secondary support when we're going 1v1. Well, sorry, better yet, man for man. And you're almost like an additional layer of security in that regards. And I think that kind of helped us when you look at the counter-attacks as well. I do like the fact that we won our second and first balls a lot. I do like the fact that we competed for the second and first balls in the duels. You have to do that against Liverpool Football Club. And again, Liverpool are a great side, but you isolated to that 90 minutes, they didn't look like that. And that's the best compliment I can give. Now, the first goal was a thing of beauty. I think it, you know, we've become accustomed to that under Mikel Arteta. You know, God knows how many passes. Last time I checked, about 16, 17, 18, maybe even key passes. And I think the use of Kai Havertz to go with what was a sweeping move and the players off the ball work to treat. As you can see in the first still image, Kai Havertz in the build up to our first goal dropped into midfield. Again, simultaneously, we're playing that saucy Mikel Arteta ball. And then he's made that run forward, that galloping run, and he's not picked up. Odegaard's been able to find him. And it's curtains, really and truly. It was a sweeping move. And that is a blueprint of what Arsenal fans want to see and what has become Mikel Arteta ball when it's on song. This was almost reminiscent of Arsenal last season in terms of entertainment value and how we was playing and the swagger with the ball and gambling and trusting each other. And I think everything Mikel Arteta and the players did worked in the game. Obviously, again, would have loved a clean sheet. But yeah, Kai Havertz galloped forward. You know, he caught a bit of life. On another day, maybe if he doesn't finish that chance off his own back, we look at it differently. But fortunately, his shot has fallen to Bukayo Saka, and it's another goal and another big game for the star boy who, you know, there's always an agenda against him. The goal we conceded was disappointing for various reasons because that's one issue for our football club, if I'm very honest. We do have this element of shooting ourselves in the foot. And I think on reflection, I actually think out of 3 phases of what I counted, Saliba's done well. I think it's a long ball forward initially before, you know, we get on to what's in front of you. So long ball initially, Saliba wins the header. That's the first phase. The second phase is when Gravenberch puts that ball in between Saliba and tries to play Diaz in. I think Saliba has done the second phase very well in that he's followed his man, he's outstrengthed him, and he's done what's needed to be done. Watching the game again, potentially Gabriel and Zinchenko, maybe their starting positioning could have been better. But I don't think they're at to blame for the goal. Neither do I think with Raya. I think Saliba needs to just, when in doubt, kick it out. I think he's unaware of his bearings, if I'm completely honest. But Saliba's a quality player. If we were to beat Liverpool, we probably didn't expect to keep a clean sheet. Obviously not in these circumstances, but there's something more to work on. As I said, the third phase, I do think Saliba thinks he's in a certain area of our box than he is. He's like he's waiting for Raya. You could sit there and say, you know what, maybe Raya, the goalie, needs to come and collect. But if you've played Sunday League, either the keeper's got to come and collect with his chest or Saliba's got to clear. Me personally, in relation to this game, I think Saliba's got to read the situation better and just, when in doubt, kick it out. Just get rid, safety first approach. As great as Saliba is on the cusp of being a world-class talent, well, he is a world-class talent, but in terms of being a world-class player, he's a star in the making. He's a colossal defender and he's got a lot going for him. But it's moments like this in a positive way. I don't think his feet are not on the ground, but we've got to remember he's a young centre-back still trying to become fairly street smart. So, yeah, I mean, the second goal was a thing of beauty. Gabriel to Gabriel connection off the field is great. Big Gabby's found him. And I did like that. I do think we need to do this a bit more. I think Arsenal have this ability to be patient and work it side to side and wait for an opening. Equally, at times we could go long. Martinelli's on his bike before Gabriel's played that pass. It's basics with football, but that just tells you the synergy. The centre-backs have been split, not for the first time, but the second time. Obviously, there's a bit of fortune between Van Dijk and Alisson, but this is how you get a couple extra goals this season. Fair enough, 9 out of 10 times. Van Dijk, Alisson, footballers are not going to do this. But the one time in games like this that it can happen, it will happen, in my opinion. And Martinelli's gambled. He's anticipated a mistake. He's gambled on a mistake. And he's got his just desserts, really and truly, people, because he's bagged. And, if I was Edison or Alisson, I'd have a word with my younger fellow Brazilian, because it seems like he saves his best for the bigger games. I'm a big fan of Martinelli, and it's lovely to see my star boys back in the groove of things, people. Big up to Kirill. Speaking of winning duels, again, I really should have included it, but Kirill's won a header and he set Trossard on his way. Trossard, who's another player who likes to play against Liverpool. I'm sure Liverpool fans all know about his exploits while at Brighton, and it's a great goal, and it's the icing on the cake, and it's the breathing room, it's the final dagger. But take nothing away from it, it's a bloody good finish from Leandro Trossard. It's in a cute angle, it's with his weaker peg if he has one, and actually, at the point of Kirill actually winning that first ball, Trossard has a lot to do. By then, I think, fatigue is coming into it. Liverpool are a bit accepting of the performance, and, their shape isn't always the best, really and truly, at times. And we was able to exploit that. Trossard has pulled it through the legs of Alisson, which maybe Alisson would have asked himself, could he have done better? I know Liverpool Football Club, Jurgen Klopp, and every player would have said they could have done better in that game, and definitely the defenders. But, respectfully to Liverpool and what they've done, I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm an Arsenal man, and I don't really care about that. And, to know that there was no Gabriel Jesus, and Kai Havertz had a decent game in line with a collective good team performance. Trossard, Martinelli and Saka are getting their swagger back, and we've taken 3 points off a massive side that have accomplished in the game what we hope Mikel Arteta and our players can. So it was a great day at the office. Mikel Arteta deserves his plaudits. Don't let the celebration police hear that. Make sure you're trolling your Liverpool supporting friends. We don't get many times. I definitely am. Gary Neville's of this world, absolutely crying. Jamie Carragher of this world, he let his mask slip, really and truly. It's too much emotional reactions, if I'm honest, with the punditry in this country, rather than cool, calm, collected and analytical heads. Big up Jorginho and Declan Rice in the engine room, along with Benjamin White as well. I'm not one to waffle about expected goals, but you can see the clear gulf between the sides. It's nice to see we've beaten Jurgen Klopp at the Emirates in his farewell tour and temporarily crashed the party. It's nice to see Martinelli keeps up his goal scoring in general and against Liverpool. It's nice to obviously win back-to-back games against Liverpool for the first time under Jurgen Klopp. Make no mistake, once again, Jorginho, big up uncle. He had a great game. Declan Rice bossed it. He's bossed City, Liverpool and United now. 100 million bargain, really and truly. And the midfielders, along with Benjamin White, I don't think they're going to get their plaudits. There's a long way to go in this title race. And if Arsenal win it, I don't know. Now, I don't know about you Arsenal fans and how you feel about Arsenal versus Liverpool. Fundamentally, it is a 6-pointer. I don't believe Arsenal are going to win the league title. Of course, I want to be wrong. I just think right now, it's a jump too high for us, really and truly. But as long as it's mathematically possible, I'm all for it. I'm happy that we've got 9 points from the last available 9 points from the last 3 games, so 9 points available, which is a step in the right direction. And it seems like the Dubai trip or whatever we did out there and the clarity that's provided with us, we're back on our mission. There's a lot of twists and turns, bumps and bruises, winning points, dropping points. But as long as it's mathematically possible, word to Wenger, keep fighting. It is a 6-pointer. Liverpool, have got the least defeats in the league. Manchester City are still, starting to go on their little run. Liverpool are the team to beat. Arsenal probably the third best of the 3. So we need to stay in and around. So it is a 6-pointer. And for me, as I said, if we want to be title winners, we need to be able to pull off a number of results like this against the Liverpools and Cities. And it's lovely to beat them both at the Emirates, in one season. It'd be even better to go to the Etihad and get 3 points. And it would have been nice to take 4 points from a winning position at Anfield. But the Anfield stuff goes on. We've taken 4 points off Liverpool. We've taken 3 off City. It's been the other games that we've kind of messed up a bit in. And it just makes you wonder, had we have been able to put the ball in the back of the net against West Ham, create against Newcastle, score against Villa, not shoot ourselves in the foot against Chelsea and Liverpool, and actually twice against Fulham, where would we be? Of course, you can't have it all your way. It's all twists and turns, but it's lovely. If we want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And yeah, Liverpool might have had an off day. Maybe Klopp could have done something tactically. They were missing a lot of players, etc., etc. Our 2 biggest results of the season, we haven't necessarily had the players going into the game available and starting and whatnot that we would like. So it shows you why there's a squad. So it shows we can compete, and we need to make this a benchmark, really, and just continue this good form. I did like everything Mikel Arteta did, the fluid system. It's going for a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-2 at times. And, as I alluded to in the video, the way Zinchenko, Jorginho, Declan Rice, these kind of players are being deployed. Big fan of Kyrill's cameo as well. Shout out to Big Gabriel as well. I'm a big fan of Raya's distribution. Kai Havertz, I think he worked a treat in line with what we demand for the team. Benjamin White, boss of a performance. And it's lovely to see our attackers, were able to cope with the absence of Jesus, and Saka and Martinelli, the poster boys, got on the score sheet. Trossard did his thing as well. So yeah, for a variety of reasons. And the celebrations, again, Liverpool's a great team that's been kicking our bums 9 times out of 10. So it's nice to win games like this with all the pressure that goes with Arsenal Football Club, with all the, end of the day, these lot are training together week in, week out. And it's these moments that make or break a season. And it's these moments that remind you of what path you're on. So I don't really understand the celebration police, but who really cares? So yeah, and I like the bravery, because it's one thing having all of these tactics and stuff. You need to be able to deploy it. On another day, I don't want to go into halftime at 1-1, because I don't think we should have. I think, it's a long kick from Alisson. We've shot ourselves in the foot. Saliba probably could have done better, should have done better. Not here to dig any players out individually, but on another day, I think we should have kept a clean sheet against Liverpool for what we've become accustomed to expect from Liverpool, and I echoed that with the Nottingham Forest game. So we've got a long way to go in terms of defending. Historically, we could be scoring a bit more goals this season, but it shows we can compete. It shows the manager can make things happen, and it shows these boys care. I like the bravery, as I said, to undertake these tactics. Of course, definitely of recent where we played Liverpool, I won't say we suffered that much. In many ways, it was reminiscent of the FA, taking the positives from the FA Cup and enhancing that. But when you play Liverpool, you expect to suffer. There's going to be moments where you're under the cosh. There was moments in the first half where I felt they kind of were starting to wake up a bit. I think the second half, literally the initial periods, we was a bit sluggish, but then we got back with it. So on another day, can we score 2, 3, 4 in the first half? Because there were some half opportunities potentially we could have taken advantage of. But, it was a great weekend. It's a great 3 points. The Liverpool games now for this season are irrelevant. We've taken 4 points off them, picked them up. It means nothing if you don't continue this run. Now I want revenge against West Ham, where, maybe it was written in the deal for Declan Rice to join us from West Ham, that they dump us out the cup if we play them, and they beat us at the Emirates. Now I want 3 points at West Ham. To have any chance, we've got to go on a run now. It's easier said than done. I'm not here to look at the table and say we're playing this team, we should win. Football has a funny way of reminding you stuff. We take the positives from Liverpool, we work on if there is any negatives or areas of development, and we now prepare for West Ham. It was a great weekend. Liverpool is irrelevant now. You can banter your mates, but now it's on to, I believe, West Ham away. Then you've got Burnley away, and we've still got some big tests. You can say what you want about Chelsea Football Club. That's still a tough game, really and truly, and they took a point off us. So we've still got to play City. We've still got to play Chelsea, still got to play Brighton. You know, we're getting to that period where teams are fighting for their life down at the table, really. We still got to welcome Brentford, you know, to the Emirates. And that was a big reason. I think that was how we shot ourselves in the foot, or one of those, for last season. I know you look at the Liverpool, West Ham, and there was definitely a third game where Southampton, where we shanked it, but the draw against Brentford, where VAR did us dirty, but we didn't do certain things. And this is what I mean. Well, I'm not saying Arsenal are the biggest and baddest in the land and stuff like that, but this season we've rarely been outplayed. Now, that doesn't matter, because if I'm Aston Villa, if I'm West Ham, if I'm any of them clubs that beat us, I don't really care. But that just shows we can be our best friends or our worst enemies. We've been rarely outplayed. I think away from home against Fulham, we were terrible. West Ham in the League Cup, we were terrible. It just shows that if we can iron out these elements of self-capitulation and sometimes not starting games well, but ending it strong, or, you know, starting strong and ending it shaky, keep a couple more clean sheets, be a bit more ruthless in front of goal, and keep ticking over, we can keep this development path that we're on going. It's a tough arts winning the Premier League. It's even a tougher arts winning the Champions League. But as long as you're in it, which that's all we've got to salvage from our season, we've got to try our best in it. So good weekend. We now move to West Ham. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on how you feel about individual players, what you make of Mikel Arteta's tactics. Do you think we're in a title race now, if we wasn't already? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you're following on all the socials. As usual, people, appreciative for you lot watching my vid. Let me get out of it. One love.
There's always just that attitude when defending. I think it's like